So the potential of that work became quite crystal clear, that you can use money as a tool for personal growth. And I think that's a bit the original twist in all of this. And when women get what they deserve financially, they transform their own lives, yes, but also they create immense positive value to the world. So that is what this work is about, really. It's about unlocking that potential that lies with other women, with every woman actually, and that they can thrive in all the areas of their lives. That's really what.
But why are many women actually not getting there? What are the reasons? And I think there's three main things that happen. So one is, on top of that, women are not often asking for a salary raise, or are not kind of pursuing perhaps higher positions. They're leaving opportunities on the table. And yeah, of course, then still societal biases, right? Why is there less salary paid to a woman for the same work as a man would, right? So
they are Dr. Sophie Jablonski and Minna Schmidt, co-founder of Flourish Financially, a platform designed to empower midlife women to take charge of their financial health. Together, they have combined their expertise in positive psychology and financial coaching to create actionable strategies that help women overcome financial stress, build confidence, and unlock their full potential. In this episode, they will share the Financial Flourishing Scale, reveal why mindset plays a pivotal role in financial freedom, and explain how small, consistent steps can lead to lasting change. You will also hear how they are tackling the gender wealth gap and helping women thrive emotionally and financially at any stage of life. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, settle in, and join us for this inspiring episode of the Brilliantly Branded podcast. So welcome one more time to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. Today I'm so happy to welcome Dr. Sophie Jablonski and Minna Schmidt. Sophie and Minna are the dynamic duo behind Flourish Financially. That is a platform empowering midlife women to take control of their financial well-being. And they have made in their mission to close the gender wealth gap, break the stigma around money conversation, so more related with the mindset, and connect financial resilience with mental well-being, basically. And through their journey and their financial flourishing scale, that is a tool that they are going to show us later on, there is an evidence-based strategies. And Sophie and Minna inspire women to approach this financial health with confidence and purpose. So in this episode, we are going to explore their unique approach to financial empowerment and get into the intersection of the mindset that is so important in terms of psychology and financial freedom. So welcome, and this time I'm going to bring Dr. Sophie Jablonski. So Dr. Sophie, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Maria. And I'm so glad to be here with Minna today. What can I say? In a nutshell, I would say I'm a scientist who is now embracing going from the starting career in renewable energy, now embracing more sustainable human development. So I've become a life coach and I'm a positive psychology practitioner.
Wow, that is good. But I am curious about how did you came to work in Flourish Financially?
Yes, so that's a very interesting question, which is not always obvious when you don't know the story. But like other people who started perhaps in this field of coaching, I think for me the journey into financial health and well-being began during challenging period of my life. Minna and I, we come from different but complementary paths in that way. As I said, I was working more in international development and infrastructure projects. And then as I was going through this period of my life where I was grappling with burnout, actually, and also mental health issue, that left me feeling quite disempowered, despite all my successes so far, I would say. And that was both emotionally and financially. So for me, it was time of introspection. And in fact, for the first time, I think I began to question really everything, my career, my priorities, and also what I wanted from life. So that was in late 2022 that I decided to enroll in a personal development course, and that was leading to a coaching certification program. So at about the same time, I returned to my previous employer where I was working as an energy specialist. And I realized really quickly that doing both together, in fact, I didn't want to be anymore the engineer. And that was very strong intuition. It felt quite, undeniable. So a few months later, I launched the coaching practice, focusing really on mental health and my journey with the topic of women independence and positive psychology. And it's at that time that I noticed how central actually money was to women's confidence and also the sense of control. And at the same time, I experienced also personal loss. So 2 women very close to me died. And suddenly I had to start managing a financial windfall. And that was again another wake-up call where I realized that it was both an opportunity but also really emotionally challenging. So this led me to explore my relationship with money from different perspectives, starting a business, then dealing with this bereavement and all the other aspects of my life. So I embarked on that journey. And when I attended an event in Luxembourg where Minna was speaking about financial well-being, and really something struck me. I mean, she was already at that time a very successful financial well-being coach. And she was running workshops for corporate clients, and she was also having her own group program for women on financial empowerment. And her work really resonated with me. So after the talk, I introduced myself, and we quickly discovered that we were really complementary in terms of expertise. And that's how Flourish Financially was born, I would say, in a nutshell.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. It's a beautiful story behind that. And basically, is how you end up finding their match, your match to building something to help others. And I think that this is what you have been doing, finding Minna and Minna finding you. Because even when you both have your own expertise, and this is a little question that I wanted to do to you, Dr. Sophie, that basically you emphasize this connection between this mental well-being and financial health, right? So can you explain a little bit how this intersection is so important if you really are setting up the foundation of your work?
Right. So when I started digging into that part of work, and actually in my life too, I realized that money was really deeply tied to so many other dimensions of our well-being. So it's never just about finances. It's about relationships. It's about career growth, family dynamics, and even our sense of purpose. And in fact, positive psychology to me offers such a powerful framework here, because it's not just about avoiding financial stress. It's really about flourishing. And it's about using money as a tool to build the life that you want, a life that feels abundant, a life that feels meaningful, and a life that is aligned with your values, more importantly. So for women in particular, money has been really demonized, and it's been treated as a taboo subject.
True.
When I started to explore my own money mindset, I realized that it was very transformative, not just financially, but actually emotionally, and the whole money mindset part. I started seeing shifts, of course, in my career, because I was an entrepreneur. I became a business owner. Also a greater sense of abundance and possibility in different chapters of my life, and also more meaningful connections to my loved ones, which was a bit surprising at the time. And like with my siblings, with my children, even talking about it, and also my husband. So the potential of that work became quite crystal clear, that you can use money as a tool for personal growth. And I think that's a bit the original twist in all of this. And when women get what they deserve financially, they transform their own lives, yes, but also they create immense positive value to the world.
It is.
That is what this work is about, really. It's about unlocking that potential that lies with other women, with every woman, actually, and that they can thrive in all the areas of their lives.
It's
That's really...
incredible. It's incredible how you bring this topic and make me think, and possibly to all our audiences that are listening now, how you combine these two elements. I mean, how you are thinking about money and how bringing that to the table and be aware about how that works is what really changing your life. And you are talking from your experience. So really, thank you for
yeah.
sharing this part of your story as well. And now I wanted to give this warm welcome to Minna and asking Minna, please,
Yes.
could you introduce yourself and let us know a bit about your expertise in terms of financial topics. But one that took my attention is related with the gender wealth gap. So this is a significant issue that you are managing. So I would love to hear more about that, please.
Thank you so much, Maria. It's really a pleasure to be here today. And thank you, Sophie, also for introducing our story. I really love the whole story, right? And maybe to bring indeed a bit about my perspective to it. So from my background, I spent around 15 years working in consulting and finance. So I was at McKinsey and Company and BlackRock. So really from my professional career, had a lot to do with finance. But in my personal life, finance was actually a topic that I was pushing away for years and years. And I was one of those women who are, probably doing pretty well. They're confident, ambitious about many other things in my life, but I was not taking care of my finances very well, not at all. And I went through this whole transformation as well and really realized through my own experience, and then, of course, speaking to many other women, that how important it really is for women, especially, to take that time to work on their finances, and also that there is available this kind of practical and empathetic support in how to do this, because it's not easy. Even for women who are working in finance, it's not easy. So that was kind of the starting push, let's say, for me to start with financial coaching. And indeed, I'm a financial well-being coach. I'm on a mission to help women build financial freedom and security. And yes, indeed, with Sophie, we met then about a year ago, which was just wonderful because we realized we can combine our forces. And through this combination of financial planning and positive psychology, bring something unique to all the women out there who want to become masters of their finances. So yeah, that's a bit the story.
Yeah, you're right, and actually, this combination is I was very close when you was saying that, like, well, you together is like a bomb, in the sense that how you put these two important topics together, and how we have been lacking of really taking care of what we think about money, how we manage our finances, how we make this relationship both together is the secret for many things. I mean, I personally wanted to learn more about that, and actually this is related a little bit with what is happening with money. So as you well explained, many women find this is hard to even to talk about money openly with their couples, with their family, the things that you are doing, and then end up even to holding you back, right? So actually, how would you suggest to have these healthy conversations about finances with starting with your loved ones, but as well with yourself?
Yes, that is very important. I mean, there are actually a lot of things that, come to this point, but maybe let me get back just a little bit and also talk about the gender wealth gap, because I didn't want to forget that. That's such a significant issue that we are
Super
actually
important.
working on, Sophie. So
yeah,
it is something that I want to bring to, to the awareness of all the women out there. So there is indeed this clear gender wealth gap globally. which means simply that women have on average less wealth than men do. And some estimates speak about sort of maybe 75% is the amount of wealth that women have compared to men. But in reality, the statistics are quite hard to get. So, it might be even less because the wealth data is often gathered at household level and then assumed that it's 50-50 owned. But we actually know that in many cases, in a divorce situation, for example, it can be that it is the male who gets, those valuable capital assets or investment assets, and the woman gets a cash payout. It's not always the case, but there is still kind of bias existing according to the statistics. So there is this kind of wealth gap there. And, when we talk about women, the question is a little bit, what are these challenges that we women in midlife, like us here, what are the challenges that we face to build wealth? And I would say that there are both systemic issues out there, as well as then more personal level issues. If you think about it in a very simplistic way, what builds wealth? Well, it happens when you are earning an income and you're not spending it all, right? So you have some money left and then you are actually putting it aside for your future. So either you're saving it or even better, you are investing it in a smart way. And then your money starts to grow in value and you will have some assets which will eventually bring you an income stream as well. Fundamentally, it's as simple as that. If you do this consistently, put your money aside and let it grow for you, you are going to build wealth and so on. But why are many women actually not getting there? What are the reasons? And I think there's three main things that happen. So one is, of course, having enough income and not spending it all. And that's just simple math. So if you are, for example, a stay-at-home parent, it's hard to start saving and investing if you don't have a lot of income, unless you perhaps agree with your partner that you also deserve an income that you get for the work that you do at home.
I like that.
This is not, I don't want to place any negative judgment on stay-at-home moms at all. My own mom was staying at home as well, but it's just to say that as a couple, you kind of need to make sure that you have a fair solution for how you compensate this unpaid work, right? Which is a real commitment, right? And see that you still have enough to build financial reserves. So that's one thing. On top of that, women are not often asking for a salary raise or are not kind of pursuing perhaps higher positions. They're leaving opportunities on the table. And of course, then still societal biases, right? Why is there, less salary paid to a woman for the same work as a man would, right? So that's the first one, right? Having enough income so you cover your expenses and have something left so that you can save and invest the rest. And the second part would be knowledge. So knowing what to do. And many women feel insecure about investing and finances. They may feel that they're not interested in it at all, or they are very scared of the risks of investing. And I understand it. It can be intimidating at first. But actually doing kind of sensible long-term investing is not rocket science. You definitely don't need a finance PhD or anything like that.
Any PhD, I think.
No PhD required whatsoever.
No.
Simple, practical investment education. Sophie and myself are on a mission to offer this to ladies so that you can start taking control of your finances and investing and building these assets. So that would be the second one, knowledge, education, right? And not PhD level.
Not required.
Not required, no. It could
I'm
help.
curious to hear the third one. The third one. I'm learning.
Yes,
I'm learning here.
I love it. Yeah. So the third one is the execution. So actually getting it done.
Right.
Because investing and building wealth, it doesn't happen overnight. There is no miracle pill to make you millionaire overnight. Unfortunately not. You still need to kind of do the work consistently over time For example, you set up an automatic transfer. Every time you get your salary, you're also going to put a significant portion into your investment account. And if you do this, even if it's not that much, but you do it regularly, right? It starts compounding and growing there in the background while you're living your life. And of course, you need to set it up. You need to have the discipline to do it and not just say, well, next year, well, next month. And a lot of women know that they should save and invest more, but they don't manage to get started. And then this time just goes by, and you need time for your investments to grow. So third one is simply getting it done and sticking with it. That's going to bring you the results. So
I really like
talking a long time, but I think it's important.
I really like it because I think in this moment of this conversation, two things coming to the pot, very important too, is this is one, the mindset, and the other one, what is the action plan and how you put this in practice. And these two things together is what make Flourish Financially, right? So I really like how each of you have been explaining how your expertise from this side is awakened this curiosity, at least on me, to know more, to learn more, because actually, well, it's these three steps that you just explained are key. And you say, well, it's very simple for you, but not very simple for everyone. Mm-hmm. So this is actually investing in ourselves in order to learn all those value things that will allow us to get it to the success of our careers, our management of money, etc. And part of what I have been research about you is this tool that you created, right? That is the Flourish Financially Scale. So would you like to explain a little bit how that works and how that can help individuals to really understand their financial health? Would you like Sophie to go with this?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic, please.
Yes, I mean, we love the scale with Minna. In fact, I feel it's such a brilliant illustration of bringing together again these two strands of expertises. Why? Because actually the Financial Flourishing Scale is really inspired by a positive psychology tool called the Flourishing Scale. So it exists, so you can find it. And the point is that it's measuring one dimension, which is called the eudaimonic dimension of well-being. It's so important to use a tool that is grounded in science. So it's a bit different from the typical other tools that you would find out there. It's not just a mini test about what kind of money personality you are. It's really about testing your well-being and what we're passionate about here, financial health and well-being. So it's evidence informed in that case, because actually this is a tool that we're putting out there, but it's not been studied by itself through many experiments and tons of thousands of people testing it, but it's inspired from a tool that's been proven. And it's also anchored in positive psychology. So what does that mean? Once again, we're not talking about what are your issues with money or finance. We are not talking about how high is your stress. We're really talking about where are you on the possibility to flourish, which is a key concept in positive psychology. So how much thriving you can get in life rather than focusing on solving the problems and just surviving.
I really would love to have that tool because it would be very revealing. It's like we are not aware about how we think about money, how we manage, and the other thing is fear. Feeling the fear of and some stigmas related with money. That I guess, Dr. Sophie, you have been with your clients in certain way, having that experience with the people say, I am fear. I'm afraid about investing. I'm feeling a fear about wasting my money. You end up even taking care of your money instead of really investing and doing something differently. So how have been your experience related with these mental blocks on your clients before?
Yes, I mean, in fact, it's so complementary to what Minna was explaining, because having a plan is really important. It's the same with any kind of coaching you would do. It's about goal setting, but it's also about executing. And when you have a mental block, you may have the best plan, you may have all the knowledge, you're not able to execute.
Yeah.
So what happens? Yes, and that's where it makes, and actually, so then you had an extra layer. You're judging yourself for not executing on the thing you know you should do. So it's like you get the worst of all the possible scenarios. You don't have the results, and you don't have the mental experience that is kind of nice and positive. So in fact, yes, I mean, what are the emotional experience of women, or the women that we work with when it comes to money? One of the very common one is the stigma of shame. So there's a sort of like a fuzzy cloud of shame that is hanging on to around us, around many of us. And it can come from not understanding or not thinking that we understand, or sometimes not reconciling why we behave in certain way when we know we should be doing another way.
Correct.
Again, is not something that is specific to finance, but in finance, because it's a topic that's considered taboo and also something that's typically not feminine to talk about, it becomes almost worse. It's like the compounding effect you were talking about, Minna, but the wrong way.
Yes.
And that's why I think, the coaching models that we use, the typical coaching models from cognitive behavioral coaching is like the very common one. You really look at what are your thoughts and your feelings, and you understand that your feelings are coming from your thoughts and not your circumstances. So in a nutshell, no matter what the numbers you have, which are your circumstances, your emotions are not coming from that. They're coming from the thoughts that you have before. And actually, certain emotions are fueling your actions, what we were talking about. So taking action with the action plan, it comes from your emotions. So the wrong emotion or the not useful emotions are not going to deliver necessarily the action you want. But even if you get there, and you're having not a very nice emotion, let's say for yourself, right? You still have but then the result is going to be different, because the result is the whole combined experience. So that's why the mindset is really like your vessel into the world. So if you don't control your mind, no matter what you do, even if you get great financial results in terms of number, you're not going to be feeling good about it. So what's the point, right?
Oh, Jesus. I still have to say, I mean, it is as many things that are connected, and your thoughts create reality, but as well, the way that you feel, it is the one thing that make you take actions. So you can have a lot of things, thoughts related with how you are related with money and what is your fears and all the things. But as well, if your emotion is not moving you to take actions and do something related with that, then you are going to be completely lost, and you need to take care about that. You, Minna, was talking about,
or you're taking action, but then your energy when you're doing the action is not the right energy. So you can be going on the computer and doing your investment, but in one way you're going to be freaking out, like trembling and really like sweating of fear, or you're going to be just super cool, and the emotion is so important, right?
What happens then is you don't follow up with a plan. Then your action will falter, usually, at least what I have seen, right? So if you don't really have the mindset part, and it will not stick. The change will not stick, and you will stop at some point when it's not convenient, or so that's the point, I think. And for finances, you need sustainable change, right, or consistency, right, over time. Just a one-time quick fix doesn't help. It can help a little bit, but not much.
Well, probably you end up blocking yourself. I mean, you end up beating the stick on your own wheel at the end.
The sabotage.
Self-sabotage, absolutely.
And part of Minna, you was talking about midlife, right? And midlife is the moment, and we are right now. So this is the career changes, is even divorce. You was talking about that. So what are Many of our listeners are women, and many of them probably are passing right now with this moment in their life. So what will be your top 3 strategies for women that are now in this situation and really want their life change?
Thank you so much, Maria, for that question. I love it. Like, it's a very big question, right? But
It is.
let's start unpacking this a little bit. So yes, you're right. So women in midlife, we indeed face often many big transitions. It could be in the career area. It could be also health issues. It could be various family issues. Of course, sometimes also positive changes, right? So it can be a lot of things. But when, we have done surveys with different women, we see that almost everyone will have like something going on, at least one or two things, whatever it is. So this is something that happens. And what we don't maybe think about so much is that many of these transitions will also have a significant financial impact. And it can be also quite challenging if you're going through a tough time personally already. And then if you have also financial worries on top of that. So what can happen, right, is that you are then dealing with, financial stress, and you don't have the ability to take as much time that you would need kind of to recover and to restore your strength. So whether we like it or not, having a financial reserve, having your finances sorted out, it still means that you have more freedom, more flexibility, more security. And yeah, it can be very overwhelming if you're still dealing with financial issues on top of the other thing, what is going on in your life. And that's why in Flourish Financially, we like to encourage and inspire women to become what we call financially unbreakable.
Oh, yes.
And I love this expression, financially unbreakable, because it's just so beautifully describes what we would like every woman to be and to become. So what does it mean, financially unbreakable? It means that you are resilient and secure, even if life may be throwing things at you. You don't know what will happen to you, but you are kind of as strong and confident as possible in the face of any potential challenge. And of course, those challenges may sometimes also be really, really difficult ones, and they may leave you feeling vulnerable, but at least you have, from a financial perspective, more ability to live the life in the way that you want. And of course, achieving this kind of financially unbreakable state, it doesn't happen overnight. You need to build it. You need to work on it. But you will be so thankful that you did. Every step towards financial freedom and financial security is very meaningful, meaning exactly that you have more freedom, more options, more flexibility. And, this is a very big thing, like kind of how to become this financially unbreakable. And actually, this is like the very, very kind of heart of why we have created our Flourish Financially program, which is our 5 months wealth and mindset academy for women to do exactly this, right? So to become financially unbreakable. And in our program, there will be kind of the deep work, which is, really done on your finances, right? On really the planning, the numbers, the investment, all of that part, but also just as importantly, the psychology and the mindset.
Yeah.
And those two things need to come together, like we said before, otherwise the change won't stick. So, really the finance part, where we go through the numbers, analyze the risks and the opportunities, we really plan what kind of dream life do you want to live, and what do you need from a financial perspective to get there? How can you get there? How long is it going to take for you to get there? How to make it possible for you? And then from the mindset part, empowering you to really confidently navigate these financial decisions, even in a time which is emotionally perhaps a vulnerable time for you. And those negative emotions, the money scripts that may be blocking you, right? We learn how to navigate those, to change those, and so that you have kind of the strategies that you need to deal with financial stress, avoid it, become stronger, and have the emotional resilience to continue with your plan. So these are kind of the really the skills that will help you to build a kind of strong foundation, and it will really serve you for the rest of your life. So yeah, that's like our program, and we're so excited about having the first cohort start now soon. In January. So yeah, and the community is so important too, right? So that you have kind of other women around you who are doing the same thing and getting that encouragement and support.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you mentioned many different, very interesting things, Minna. Thank you very much. Community as well have been always the thing that I have been spreading the voice in terms of branding. If you don't connect with your community, with your audience, it really is not going to be the way to deliver all the value, even if you want it. So the importance of a community, the importance of investing in yourself, the importance of getting to know the unknown, is unknown for you, because actually the thing is that we have been managing our money or our finances in our entire life in one way. So sometimes we can think, well, probably it's too late for me to learn now how to manage. But what will be your advice for those people that thinking that probably it's too late, and you can encourage them to take decisions and go in and start to get it flourish financially?
Yes, maybe I can just quickly start by saying, first of all, it's never too late. It's never too late. So
I agree.
You will be so thankful for embarking on this journey. And I think the peace of mind that comes with taking care of your finances is worth it. I have seen so many women who are going through this transition. They are first feeling very anxious, about finances, whether they have enough for their retirement. They feel ashamed that they haven't done that much. And moving into these like financial superstars who are managing confidently their finances, and they're excited about investing in stock markets, and they never could have believed that they would be doing this. So it's very addictive, actually, when you see your investment portfolio growing. So actually, this is, don't feel nervous.
When it's like that, it's good.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes it will go down as well. So you need to be prepared. That's why the mental resilience is very important. But, don't be nervous. You will do this. You will conquer this, and you will feel amazing. So you deserve it. And I don't know, Sophie, if you'd like to add something to this. Maybe you have some advice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat myself with the fact that your brain is your vessel. So really treat it well, take care of your brain. But maybe a word on self-confidence. Many people have the wrong belief that self-confidence, it comes from something external. So in that case, it would be, if I had the proof that I can create a lot of wealth, then I will be self-confident that I can create wealth. But actually, it doesn't work like that. The real way that self-confidence is going to show up, in this case, the financial self-confidence, is from learning to do the little steps that indeed little by little are going to take you in the big change. So you need to start with the little step. And believe me, I've been there, and I think Minna too, and many women have. There are moments when we feel really overwhelmed by our lives, that we feel even the little steps are impossible, or we think they don't matter. But in fact, they do. So any day that you make a decision, today I'm going to do something, if the next day you don't beat yourself up, just continue doing it. And there's no wrong step. They're just learning there. And actually, in time, it pays. It's really the compounded interest that we're saying, but almost philosophically. So self-confidence is there for anyone, and shouldn't believe the hype. Sometimes we see people, they look self-confident, and we think, come on, there must be a magic pill there. Well, no. I mean, everybody's freaking out inside.
You're right. You're right.
How to manage it.
Very wise advice, Dr. Sophie. And I have been seeing how you have been educating people, because you have been building an amazing community. I am part of the community as well. And I have been seeing the hard work that you have been doing. And I don't know if you wanted to share any experience, maybe something fun, funny that happened around, because sometimes the things for people is very difficult to deal with the topic. So then some fun stories around will make them to say, I am part of the tribe. I am part of this, and I can really change my mindset and invest and doing other things with financially. Would you like to share something with us?
I mean, the story that came to my mind this morning, because I thought I don't have much things to say that is fun about money, right? You see already the filter of beliefs, right? Limiting beliefs. Oh, what can I say? People are going to judge me. Okay. So what I came up with was, as I was like 9-10 years old, my father was encouraging us to do garage sales at the village. So we would do that. And I remember that doing that was making me so happy because I earned a lot of money. And not only that, but it was an experience where I was offering what we had in our garage to people in exchange of money. So selling. And I got some comments from people I didn't know who were telling me that I was such a good seller. They said, you're such a good seller. And I didn't know how to take it. So I recall now how much of there was this stigma already that I felt selling is like kind of like tainted, right? I mean, it's not something
you are
that
so right.
I should be like, is that good? Is that bad? And I have come to realize one of the biggest lessons for me. It's not about selling. It's about offering something for value. And when you're offering value, people are happy to offer money in exchange of that value. So there's no such thing.
Sophie. I think it's an amazing lesson. Yeah, it's an amazing lesson.
Really changing your mindset, yes.
Oh, yeah, wow, and then that is incredible.
Realize, I mean, and then you can think about that, because I would say, as a person who's an entrepreneur, it's a typical thing that entrepreneurs sometimes struggle with, like, it's about me, what are gonna people think, and etc. No, it's think about a time when you had to buy something for yourself and you were so happy to buy that thing in exchange of the money. So it's the same the other way around. So that's the story that came up. I mean, I have many other stories probably, but
I love that. And actually people can know more about those stories if they contacting you, if they go, I'm going to put your website and all what the people can contacting you, because I think that you have a lot of value to deliver. So this have been as well the purpose of the podcast, women empowerment. You have been building a brand, so through the lens of branding, and as well having the learning and the inspiration. So I just have to say, thank you very much for being here in the Brilliantly Branded podcast. And I wishing to you all the best. And I hope to be part of Flourish Financially, because we all need that. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Maria.
So much, dear Maria. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
hope
you.
To see you soon.
We hope you have been inspired by this content and join us for future episodes of the Brilliantly Branded podcast. We will continue exploring the power of branding and the stories behind successful brands. And remember, if you know a woman who has built a successful brand with a unique approach and a story to share, please refer them to our podcast. We would love to learn from their experiences and share their story with our listeners. Stay tuned for most episodes of Brilliantly Branded, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, on our YouTube channel for more branding insights and women empowerment. Until the next episode, ciao ciao.